I am back with 10 movies to watch during Leo season. So let's get started. So the first movie I chose is The King of New York. Now, this is one of those gangster type of films. I really love this movie. It was released in 1990. So here's the storyline. After completing a lengthy prison sentence, one-time drug kingpin Frank White returns to his New York intent upon reestablishing his empire and making things as they were before he left. Others, of course, have taken over the business during his absence, but that clearly isn't going to stop White. While he's gunning down the opposition, he decides he's going to give away the money he'll make to modernize the hospital in his old neighborhood. Drug dealers aren't the only thing he has to worry about, however. A group of rogue cops decide they are going to take him down. So this is very Leo-oriented movie because he's basically the king of New York. He's the boss. So that's Christopher Walken. He plays a really good role as this very stoic on one end, but then on the other end, he has this very fun-loving persona. So I'm thinking he might have a moon in Gemini, Leo sun, moon in Gemini. So he's just this fun-loving guy on one end, but then he can also have this real dark, stoic side where he will take anybody out that gets in his way. So Lawrence Fishburne is also in it. Wesley Snipes is in it, and Teresa Randall. She's a little-known actress, but she's been in a few films, like some Spike Lee films. But this is definitely a tough guy film, and Leo is one of the tough guy signs. There's also some tough chicks in the film. Teresa Randall plays one of the tough chicks. And this film is basically very entertaining. So if you haven't seen this movie, I would say it's one of those cult classics because it's really not up there in terms of, in my opinion, from what I know of, in terms of like major motion pictures that got a lot of acclaim. But anybody that's into like gangster flicks definitely knows about King of New York. Next film, Fame. So Fame was released in 1982. Here's the storyline. The art school was always their dream. They want to dance, they want to sing, to play music, to act, but above all, they want to live their lives while they are still young and full of energy. Leroy, Danny, Jesse, Chris, and Coco, and all the others try hard because they know that they've got a long way to go till they reach fame and riches. Fame costs, and here, the art school is where they start paying it. So this movie features Debbie Allen. She's the one that, says that popular line, fame costs, and here is where you start paying for it in sweat. So Gene Anthony Ray plays Leroy. Here he is right here, but he just plays that sexy exhibitionist role, which is very Leo. And Irene Cara is in it. She sings the theme song. Now, the title of the film says it all, Fame, that's very Leo. And this is a very entertaining film. And that hot lunch scene is such a treat. So if you haven't seen this film and you like the performing arts, definitely check this out. If you've seen this before, it's a good film to rewatch during Leo season. Next movie, Row House. So Row House was released in 1989. Here's the storyline. Serene and laconic, yet powerful and lethal, Dalton is an expert in martial arts and the best professional bouncer in the business. Now, that first line, that's very indicative of how Leo Mel can be. So, serene and laconic, yet powerful and lethal. So, Leo Mels, they can be smooth, stylish, gentlemanly even, but then they won't hesitate to split your wig if they have to. So they got that, combination that makes them a really, force to be reckoned with. Now, with such a reputation, Dalton is summoned in a small town in Missouri to clean up the sleazy bar called the Double Deuce from troublemakers who terrorize the customers without knowing, however, that the villainous local entrepreneur, Brad Wesley, wants things to remain unchanged. As Dalton cleans up the nightclub and with it, the town from Wesley's hired goons, a deep wound from a knife will inspire a passionate affair, that's very Leo, with local doctor Doc Clay. Now, the corrupt Wesley has enough reasons to take Dalton out of the way. Nevertheless, the bouncer has the final say. So this film features Patrick Swayze and the sexy ass Sam Elliott. Here he is to the left. Both of them are Leos, and they both have that tough guy persona, but also that lovable guy persona at the same time. So that's that combination of Leo that I'm talking about, that blend that, makes that could basically be the epitome of a male, the epitome of, what it would be to be a distinguished gentleman, I'll say. A man that can protect you, but that's also, a lovable guy. He's very loving, got a romantic side. So this is definitely a tough guy film. And Patrick Swayze is playing the role of the protector, which is very Leo. It's a sexy film, and it's very entertaining, and it's of the heart because the fighting has a purpose behind it. It's not just, fighting for the sake of it. He's fighting to protect this small town and, this bar owner and also this owner of this hardware store. So it's a very entertaining film, especially if you like fighting and especially like those bar scene fights and all that. Next film, Gladiator. So Gladiator was released in 1994. Damn, I can't believe it was released that way back. Makes me feel old. Now, here's the storyline. Maximus is a powerful Roman general loved by the people and the aging emperor Marcus Aurelius. Before his death, the emperor chooses Maximus to be his heir over his son Commodus. And a power struggle leaves Maximus and his family condemned to death. The powerful general is unable to save his family, and his loss of will allows him to get captured and put into the gladiator games until he dies. The only desire that fuels him now is the chance to rise to the top so that he will be able to look into the eyes of the man who will feel his revenge. So this movie features Russell Crowe, who plays Maximus, Joaquin Phoenix, he plays Commodus, the hater. So this is like a Scorpio versus Leo. So Russell Crowe would be the Leo. Joaquin Phoenix character Commodus would be that Scorpio. Those two signs clash anyway. And Digimon Honsu is in it too. He plays one of the gladiators, that African dude. Now, Russell Crowe is top gladiator. He's the star of the film, but also the star gladiator. So that's very Leo. Also, he's basically the epitome of the alpha male. So again, that whole Leo combination, because he has this loving side to him, and he's all about protecting his family. He just wants to get back to his family after serving the king or the emperor. But because they kill his family, now he's out for blood. So yes, tough guy, but also has a heart. That's very Leo. Oh, and the part, are you not entertained? That is the epitome of Leo too, because Leo is about entertainment. So the gladiator games, that's Leo. So the gladiator games were a way to feed the masses entertainment to distract them from the fact that they were getting basically financially raped by the Roman government. So that part, that scene where he says, "Are you not entertained?" So before he says that, he kills one of his opponents, and the way he dispatches this dude is just insane, and it's rewind worthy. So if you haven't seen Gladiator, I'm surprised if you haven't seen it, because this is one of those major motion pictures that got a lot of acclaim. I don't know if Russell Crowe got an Oscar for this. But yeah, this is a very good film, very entertaining. So yes, he's like, are you not entertained? If you're not entertained by this film, you might be kind of comatose. Moving along. So I got to add some comedy in this. So Vegas Vacation. This was released in 1997. Here's the storyline. When Clark Griswold puts his mind to something, we soon realize he hasn't got one. Still, nothing stops him when the vacation bug hits. This time, he's chosen Las Vegas, the new family entertainment capital of America. Chevy Chase returns as bubbly, bumbling Clark in Vegas Vacation, a Joker's or wild laugh fest, including two other stars from past vacations. Beverly D'Angelo, she's a mainstay in the National Lampoon's Vacation. It's always Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo, but the children always change. And then she comes back as his wife Ellen, doting on the guy she calls Sparky. And Randy Quaid again delights. He is always a riot in these films as grubby goofball cousin Eddie. Ethan Embry, That Thing You Do, and Screen debuting Marisol Nichols are the Griswold teens who love the round the clock nightlife. They are just basically auxiliary actors. As long as they don't share with mom and dad. From Siegfried and Roy's extravaganza, that's a real funny scene. The Hoover Dam tour, that's a funny ass scene. From Cruising and Losing, Wallace Shawn as shifty blackjack dealer, that's funny as hell. To amorous crooning Wayne Newton falls for Ellen. Now that to me is one of the best parts of the film, Wayne Newton's role. So you got to check this out if you like comedy. Watch Clark try to keep family and wallet together. So again, this features Chevy Chase. He plays Clark. Beverly D'Angelo. Randy Quaid. He is always hilarious. Miriam Flynn, she's the one that plays Randy Quaid's wife. That's cousin Catherine. And she's hilarious too. Wayne Newton is in it too. So Leo, the gambling theme, but more importantly, the father theme. So Clark Griswold, the funniest depiction of a loving but severely flawed father. So like he's the epitome of that type of image. Next film, another comedy. I kept it in the whole National Lampoon's what would you call that franchise? So National Lampoon's Vacation. This was the first one. So here's the storyline. The Griswolds family are on a quest to a Wally World theme park for a family vacation. But things aren't going to go exactly as planned, especially when Clark Griswold is losing all thought towards a mysterious blonde in a red Ferrari. Now that's very indicative of a Leo father, being very much about his family, loving his wife and all this, but still has a roving eye, still has a player spirit in him. So Clark Griswold definitely had that whole thing. Now, this film features Chevy Chase, again, Beverly D'Angelo, Randy Quaid, cast cousin Eddie, Anthony Michael Hall. You would know him by like 16 Candles, Weird Science. Miriam Flynn, again, that's cousin Catherine. So Leo is about fun and recreation, enjoyment, also children. So that's very apropos for National Lampoon's Vacation. And like I said, it's always featuring Rusty and Audrey, the children, but the actors always change with each film, which is quite funny too, because it makes sense because over the years, they can't use the same children unless they're really progressing into the future like that. Now, again, Clark Griswold being the funniest depiction of a loving but severely flawed father to date. Now, also, Mr. Wally, he doesn't show up till the end of the film. He's the creator of Wally World, and he is the epitome of a Leo. So you got to check out the end and look at Mr. Wally, because when I tell you he's a Leo, and anybody that knows Leos, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that part is so hilarious to me. So check him out at the end because he is definitely playing a Leo. Next film, Love and Basketball. This was released in 2000, so I had to put some films in there that deal with the new millennium, even though I couldn't think of many. Now, in 1981, in LA, Monica moves in next door to Quincy. They're 11 and both want to play in the NBA, just like Quincy's dad. Their love-hate relationship lasts into high school, with Monica's edge and Quincy's top dog attitude separating them, except when Quincy's parents argue and he climbs through Monica's window to sleep on the floor. As high school ends, they come together as a couple, but within the year, with both of them playing ball at USC, Quincy's relationship with his father takes an ugly turn, and it leads to a breakup with Monica. Some years later, their pro careers at a crossroads, they meet again. It's time for a final game, a one-on-one with the high stakes. So this features Sanaa Lathan. Here she is right here. Omar Epps. Here he is right here. Gabrielle Union's in this. Regina Hall. Debbie Morgan. Alfred Woodard. Dennis. That's Allstate's Jan. Haysbert. He's also the one that played in Waiting to Exhale. He's the one that was like, You're the only woman I ever loved. He played Whitney Houston's No Good Man. And then Harry Lennox, that's the Five Heartbeats dude. He's the one that played Dresden. So this featured an all-star cast, which is very Leo. And love and basketball are both ruled by Leo, because Leo rules sports, Leo rules love. So this film is very cute, and it's something to watch. I'm not going to say it's one of the best films out there, but it's definitely entertaining, and it's something to watch maybe on a Sunday when you don't have nothing else to watch. You need to be entertained. You like a little combination of sports and love. Next movie, Saturday Night Fever. Now, this is one of the 70s gems that I really love. This movie was released in 1977. Here's the storyline. 19-year-old Brooklyn native Tony Manero lives for Saturday nights at the local disco, where he's king of the club, thanks to his stylish moves on the dance floor. Leo is very Saturday night, even though Leo's ruled by the sun, and that would be more so Sunday. But Leo is about partying and enjoyment and entertainment and all that stuff. That's so Saturday night. But the outside of the club, things don't look so rosy. At home, Tony fights constantly with his father and has to compete with his family's starry-eyed view of his older brother, a priest. Nor can he find satisfaction at his dead-end job at a small paint store. However, things begin to change when he spies Stephanie Mangano in the disco and starts training with her for the club's dance competition. Stephanie dreams of the world beyond Brooklyn and her plans to move to Manhattan. Now, Stephanie, she's annoying. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. When you see Stephanie's character, you'll see what I mean with that thick accent. Stephanie dreams of the world beyond Brooklyn, and her plans to move to Manhattan just over the bridge soon changed Tony's life forever. Now, John Travolta is the star in the film. Like, this film is just John Travolta, period. Like, everybody else is just secondary. Now, Tony Don't Touch My Hair Manero is an overly confident and cocky Leo who loves to entertain. Now, John Travolta was able to tap into his opposing sign's energy very well. So his Aquarius sun opposes his Pluto and Leo. So he really channeled that opposition in this film. Now, check out that whole You Should Be Dancing scene, because Travolta tears it up. I mean, he really worked hard on learning those dance moves. And the thing was, when they first shot the film, they only shot him from the waist up in most of the shots. And being the Aquarius, like he is, very willful, he came back and was like, oh, hell no, I spent all this time learning these dance moves. You're going to have to shoot me my whole body. I want the whole body shots in there. I want people to see me move my legs, all that type of stuff. So, yeah. So this is a very, very entertaining film. And again, John Travolta is channeling that whole Leo spirit, Leo male spirit, where he's very, smooth, fashionable, ladies' man, but also has that tough guy persona, and he won't hesitate to split your wig. Next movie, La Bamba. So La Bamba is one of my favorite movies from the 80s. This was released in 1987, one of my favorite years of the 80s. So storyline, this is a true story of Richie Valens, a young rock and roll singer who tragically died in a plane crash at age 17. Damn, he was so young. The film follows Richie from his days in Pacoima, California, where he and his family make a meager living working on farms to rise as a star. The film also focuses on Richie's friendship and rivalry with his older brother, Bob Morales, and his relationship with Donna Ludwig, his girlfriend. So this film features two sexy Latino men, Lou Diamond Phillips and Esai Morales. Esai Morales does a really good job in this film. He actually kind of steals the film from Lou Diamond Phillips. I mean, Lou Diamond Phillips does a really good job, but Esai Morales, I remember me and my Scorpio sister, we love this film, especially his scenes, because there's this one part where he gets his girlfriend pregnant, played by Elizabeth Pena, and any movie that Elizabeth Pena is in is going to be good. So he's like, you're not my first or my last. And we used to love that part. So Rosanna DeSoto, she's in it too. That she plays their mother, and I love her role in the film. She's beautiful. Now Leo is the star, and Richie Valens rose to stardom from humble migrant farmer beginnings. So unfortunately, he perished at 17 with co-rock and roller Buddy Holly and another um, rock and roll star J.P. Richardson. So tragic, tragic story, but also very heartfelt, heartwarming, and it's a really good film. So check it out, and it has a lot of machismo in it, which is very Leo. And finally, we have Romeo and Juliet. Now, some of my viewers might think I'm a little corny for this, but I don't care. I'm a movie buff and I love all types of films. Now, there's been different Romeo and Juliet films put out over the years, but I feel like this one is the best, hands down, even though I haven't seen all the Romeo and Juliet's out there. This one was released back in 1968. Now, here's the storyline. Shakespeare's classic tale of romance and tragedy. Two families of Verona, the Montagues and Capulets, have been feuding with each other for years. Young Romeo Montague goes out with his friends to make trouble at a party the Capulets are hosting. But while there, he spies the Capulets' daughter Juliet and falls hopelessly in love with her. She returns his affections, but they both know that their families will never allow them to follow their hearts. This film stars Olivia Hussey. She plays Juliet, and Leonard Whiting, he plays Romeo. Michael York plays Tybalt, and John McInerney plays Mercutio. Now that whole duel between Tybalt and Mercutio, that's one of my favorite scenes. I really love Olivia Hussey as Juliet. She really plays she does a really great job. So, Leo is about royalty, love, and romance, of course. And again, I feel like this version of Romeo and Juliet is the best, and it's the most romantic in my opinion. It really makes it seem like they are in Shakespearean times, and the costumes and the cinematography is just beautiful. It's just very rich, splendid, all of that type of stuff. Now, at first I was torn between Romeo and Juliet and West Side Story because I love both films, and they both, Romeo and Juliet, that's the Shakespeare, that's based off of the Shakespeare play, but so is West Side Story, very loosely based. It's like a modern day form of Romeo and Juliet. So I was thinking about putting that film in there. It's a musical and it's very entertaining, but Romeo and Juliet won out because it's more romantic, in my opinion. So that's my list of 10 movies to watch during Leo season. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let me know what Leo themed movies you recommend watching. And if you would like a reading, you could go to my website at rabina.com. Peace and many blessings. And I will be back with some more videos.